Yes, everyone, what's going on? My name is Stephen Howson. This is Full Time Review. This is Full Time Devils. This is the chance for you to have your say on the game this weekend, and what a game it was. Before we get into the game, we've got a cheeky little commercial seal. Full Time Devils is partnered with Quiff, the only sports betting app where any bet could be supercharged. The link is in the description, and you will get an exclusive offer if you click that. 18s only, T's and C's apply. So let's talk about that game that we witnessed at weekend then. How good was it? How freeing was it to watch those players? Everybody was like 110% pumped, waiting to see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first game in charge of Manchester United. The team came out, and if you lot was like me, I went, oh no. I went down to about 91% pumped, and I was like, that's exactly the same sort of lineup that Jose puts out. But it was not the same sort of performance, was it? It was polar opposite to what Jose was putting out. We had everybody in the opposition half. We absolutely went from it. As soon as we got our noses in front, we continued to absolutely put them to the sword. And it was an incredible performance. All the forwards getting on the score sheet. Paul Pogba pulling assists like they were going out of fashion. Even Matic looked like you should probably check his piss. He was that good. Fantastic performance. We've got coming up for you today then, we have got a bit of a reaction from our Matchday stream, which we'll be checking out in just a second. We have got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference, that is the manager's press conference. We've got Fancams, and we have got United on YouTube for all the reaction. So let's have a quick look at our Matchday stream from the win over Cardiff.
Oh! Marcus, oh, that's how you do it. What a strike that is. Great ball.
Oh, yes.
Go on, where's the movement? Is it him on?
Oh!
Go on,
Get in there.
Knee slide.
Imagine
yes. He's give a penalty. Are you taking the piss? Shoulder? That's his shoulder.
It's his shoulder, that.
How is he a paid professional? If you've quiffed it, you definitely should have put on both teams to score. Oh, all right, calm down, mate. You know, you only scored a penalty, mate.
Even the commentators get excited.
Stop it.
You're in.
Oh my!
Oh! I've not seen more out for I don't know how long.
Just mind me while I go and get my dick out. F***ing hell. Back yourself. You must have a celebration lined up.
Oh,
nice.
He's got one. Got a new one.
Oh, he's got a celebration here, hasn't he?
He's got a new one. Yeah. Look, shug. He'll be teaching all of these, you know. In the next couple of weeks, I'll be giving it all that on the line. Boom.
Go on.
Pog, text through.
Oh, that's a
what
great
a
ball.
What a ball.
Oh,
I'm having that.
Pogba again with a delightful
What
pass.
a ball.
Another assist.
Absolutely
First time
perfect.
we scored 5 in the Prem since Fergie's
Since
last
God
game.
knows when.
There you go. That was our match day stream. You might recognise my pizza chumping podcast brother, Ben, sitting there with Ray enjoying the game. Let us know if you'd like to see a little bit more of that. Maybe we'll bring some more of those with you. We have got another stream coming up later today, so stick around if you've done all your Christmas shopping, and come and watch us again as we've got the Huddersfield preview coming out in a couple of hours, so definitely come and join us for that one. So yes, we had a fantastic performance there from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Manchester United, and even bringing Fellaini on didn't make people lose their mind. What we want to see now is the youngsters brought through, and I know a lot of you are getting very, very carried away because of a headline from the Daily Mirror. Far be it from me to pour a little bit of water on something that's positive for the youth, but if you've read the article and not just read the headline and gone, that's all I need to know for the rest of the day. I read the article because I was like, what's he actually said? The article and the headline might as well be for two completely different things. What he says is everyone's going to get a chance. That's a quote taken from the press conference, which we're about to see. But it doesn't actually mention Mason Greenwood, doesn't mention Redding, and it doesn't mention him being told to get ready for anything. Now, it is my belief, and I have kind of been told that 4 of the players have been moved up from the academy and are now considered first-team players, and that is Angel Gomez, Jimmy Garner, Tahith Chong, and Mason Greenwood. They're still probably going to play academy games to keep their match fitness because they're not going to play every single week. But I believe over the next month or so, you're probably going to start to see them getting minutes on a regular basis. And that is why, or maybe not regular basis, I think you'll see them get the debuts and give them the opportunity to show what they can do. Now, that's what's going to happen, I don't think Mason's been told he will be starting. There's games in between. There's obviously several strikers. I think it wouldn't be the greatest idea ever to start against Reading with Mason Greenwood either. But I do think let's bring them on. Let's give them 10 minutes. If we had some youngsters on the bench against Cardiff, once we're 4-1 up, he probably starts bringing them on because that's the opportunity to do that. Minimal risk and the maximum amount of freedom that we can give with them. But anyway, let's check out what Ole did actually have to say. The things he did say, not the things the Mirror have made up that he said in his press conference. Check it out.
What positives can you take from today?
There's quite a few to be fair. There's quite a few. The attitude and application of the boys. When you go out there and you see them. The attitude's been fantastic. The dressing room, the way they approach this game, just throughout, because it's been a difficult week for everyone, and to get the focus and perform as well as they did, impressed.
How do you explain it? Can you explain it?
Yeah, good players. They're very, very good players, talented players, and today they've approached the game properly. They've worked hard. One of the things I talked about today is that a Man United team should never ever be outworked. Doesn't matter which team you play, you should run more than them, and then your skills will give you a chance to win a game. Sorry.
What did you say to the players before the match? I mean, we saw Victor Lindelof almost get a nosebleed at the other end of the field. You clearly put some confidence in the game.
Yeah, well. I said the same to these lads as I do back home in Molde. Just work harder than them, enjoy yourself, pass it forward, run forward. If you lose the ball, I don't mind as long as you work to win it back, and they did. When you got players like this with the quality, they're always going to create chances, and the finishes today were quality as well.
Only positionally the players seemed to have a lot of freedom and a lot of interchange. They were popping up in different positions. Was that what you were looking for?
Yes, and maybe a little bit too much, because when you're a Man United player, you want the ball, and that's one of the things you say to them: go and get on the ball. But in some periods we're too congested, 4 or 5 players on top of each other. So when we get to work a little bit with each other and understand that we can trust each other to do a job, then we can have a little bit more distance, and we might even be improve a bit.
How was it to hear the fans chant your name throughout the game?
Well, fantastic, of course. But I've been here as a player for 11 years, and as soon as I scored a goal, that was a chant anyway. So, but it makes you proud. It's emotional, and I'm happy for them, because now it's a long ride back up to Manchester, and at least tonight they can talk about the boys, because they played fantastic.
Top 4 is not out of reach. What's your view on that?
Well, we take one game at a time, but we're 8 points behind, and we've caught up teams before at this club. Now, though, we've got to catch up a couple. So, our job is just to take one game at a time. You don't look too far ahead.
Okay, last.
But we always play well in the second half of the season. Man United teams always do.
Last question in this section.
2-year-old students, Pogba and Lingard really delivering today. Can you tell us a little bit about how they've progressed from last time you had them?
Yes, they've progressed. Jesse was a little kid. Today he's a man. Paul obviously is a World Cup winner. So they have progressed since I've coached them. So the link between them. The last goal when Paul slips Jesse through was fantastic.
So there we have it, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the humble one. I do love how he deflects. That was a great performance. You must be pleased. This, that, and he puts it. It's on the fans. It's on the players. It's on the coaches. He just seems to trying to be building a real team sort of mentality in there, and I absolutely love it. And I do love how he tries to include the fans in part of that. That was one of my major criticisms of Mourinho, is that he never really connected with the fans. And if he had have tried to connect to the fans, even if it was bullshit, it would have helped foster some sort of relationship, but he was completely standoffish with us, wasn't he? There's absolutely no chance of that with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who is absolutely definitely one of us. Now, I love that first question. What positives can you take from the game? That was a brilliant question. And he was asked about how that performance came up, and he goes, good players. It's refreshing to hear a manager talk about that, actually. And as I said in my review, I bought into what Jose was saying a little bit with the fact that a lot of our players aren't good enough. And I still believe that there are players that aren't good enough at the club. But I didn't believe that level of performance was possible with the players that we've got at the club. I don't think we can play like that every single game. I would love us to play like that for the next 5 games and then go to that Tottenham game, well, the next 4 games now I said, and go to that Tottenham game and see what we can do there. If we can go and do what we did at weekend to Tottenham, and I don't mean by winning 5-1. People get too hung up on the result of it. The performance and the things that happened inside the 90 minutes, result aside, were a lot of things to be positive about. You can play like that and only get a 1-0 win. And if we play like that and only get a 1-0 win against Spurs, everyone will be absolutely delighted. He said something that I really enjoyed him saying, you got to work hard. You got to outwork the opposition. United have been very near the bottom of distance covered, and I don't actually understand how, because Jesse Lingard's not really changed the way he played. Marcus Rashford always chases down anything. He's like a puppy chasing a carrier bag in the wind. They never changed their game, so how has he managed to elevate a team so we're actually outworking teams by 5 kilometres over the course of a game from not actually outrunning anybody all season? That's madness to me. Now, you could understand if a team wasn't working hard and it was, say, City, because they're so in control and they're so dominant of games at the moment. You could almost forgive them, couldn't you, for just sitting there and knocking it around and not really having to move so much. But United, who've been poor for most of the season, not working hard. I love that Ollie's saying that the one thing that he wanted to get in the mix was United should outwork anyone no matter what. I like that. I like that mentality. He also criticised the team a little bit, but if you see the way he does it, it wasn't in a real bitter or negative way. And he says that at times it was a little bit too congested. There was a bit too much of wanting the ball. United players should always want the ball, but there's a little bit of trust that needs to come. And maybe when we work on it a little bit, that's something that we can improve. I absolutely adore the way he says that sort of stuff. And then, of course, he goes, I'm happy for the fans. The boys played fantastic. And he goes on to mention top 4 not being out of reach. We'll take it one game at a time. And United always play well in the second half of the season. Let's hope that can be the case then, because top 4 is really where we need to be finishing this. I'm going to come to the comments and see what some of you guys are saying. So if you've got some questions for us, I'll start reading some of them questions and then we'll hit over to the fan cams and see what they're saying. So Jules says, Steve, would you make any changes for the game against Huddersfield and Bournemouth? And if you could give youth a go, who would you play and why? Well, I would like to see Tahith Chong and Mason Greenwood. Mason's a striker, make no mistake about it. Once he's 24, 25, he'll be playing number 9, hopefully at Manchester United. It could be anywhere though. He is a number 9. But he's also adept enough to play as a number 10 or on either wing. As an inside forward or a winger, he can do both, being both-footed. I would like to see him and Tahith Chong battle it out. We do need a right-sided winger that's going to balance it out. Jesse Lingard was fantastic, and this isn't a slight on Jesse Lingard. I thought he was brilliant. It's just that he's a bit central. I would love to see someone who can stick to that side. And like Ollie said sort of in the press conference, it's a little bit too congested at times because we don't really hold the shape. Jesse might line up on the right-hand side and he'll work hard for you in that channel, but his natural tendency is always to come inside. So someone who could hold the shape, Mason and Chong could definitely do that. Give them an opportunity, but I wouldn't start any of them just yet. There's still enough players in and around the first team like Andreas Pereira, Fred, that I would think deserve the opportunity, possibly even ahead of these guys. So let's rotate through everybody in the squad. Give everybody that fresh start, because I tell you what, I would have said it and you guys would have said it. Matic out of the team for weeks. We all would have said it, and no one would have batted an eyelid if Ollie had done that straight away, if he'd have come in and done that. But look how good he was. He was fantastic for us this weekend. So I think everybody, regardless of our misconceptions about them or perceived slights on them, we should give every single player the opportunity. Everybody in that squad should be given an opportunity to do what they can do. And I've seen a lot of people there, Seven Kumar, saying, will Lukaku get a place in Ollie's team? Lukaku, you have to go and look at what he did at Everton and what he did in his first season for United. This last season where he's been asked to be this hold-up player and there's been no movement around him, he's looked terrible. But if you put Lukaku into the sort of framework of a side that we saw against Cardiff at weekend, you're going to see the old Lukaku. How many times did we get in behind the defence? Forget about how many goals we scored, which was great. But how many times did we get in behind the defence? We've not been getting in behind the defence. And we got in behind the defence because the transition was so fast. Defenders would win it, or the midfield would win it, and it's going straight up the pitch. We're looking into the channels and we're looking straight up the pitch. Lukaku's actually at his best on the shoulder, getting in behind the defence. That's when you get the best out of Lukaku. So I actually think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to be very good for Lukaku, and you're going to see him turn him round before the end of the season. Governor Bandicoot says, well, I like to see how Mata does in this system. Everybody. Literally every single player, I think, can go and do something in there. I think even Angel Gomez, I'm very happy that he's been given the opportunity, or he's going to get the opportunity to show what he can do, because I don't think there's any way Angel Gomez fits into any Jose Mourinho system. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, though, a little bit of a different story. The way we play football, I absolutely think there's a space for all of those four that have been mentioned. And if I was trying to be greedy, there's another couple of youth players that I think probably deserve their opportunity as well. Ethan Laird, once he gets fit, I want to see you in the first team. And I would also say Roshan Williams deserves an opportunity. I don't want to see us bringing Axel back, because a lot of people have mentioned that. Keep Axel where he is, and let's get him a full season where he can play as much as possible. Matty Willoker's come back, so maybe we'll see Matty added into the mix as well and given his debut finally, because he should have got it in Jose's first season. And there you go. So let's see what you guys are saying in the comments then. Do I think Cardiff give Matic the rest of the midfield too much time? Can't remember the last game Matic played like this. I think because we press from the front, and it was obvious in that first 60 seconds, wasn't it? Because we press from the front, we give ourselves time. We give ourselves the time. And it was great to see. We have too many attacking players. The squad needs better balance, says Abhishek. It does, and that's probably why I say that I think Jose Mourinho probably was the right man for United, probably a few years ago, but he isn't the right man for this squad. This squad is too attack heavy, and you're not going to get the best out of it by asking it to defend first or play on the counter the way he was doing. With an attacking manager, and I jokingly sort of said on Wednesday, we have a team that can go out, and or Monday it might have been, we have a team that can score goals. We need a manager that can say to them, go score 4, and let's hope we don't concede 5. Ollie might be that guy. Who comes out of the 11 if Sanchez comes in? It's a squad game. I actually think Sanchez really fits this system. Very energetic, lots of movement, and I think he's going to look good in this system too. Shub says, next season we should let Fosu Mensah and Delo battle it out for right back next season. I really think that works when you tell players, this isn't anyone's position, but you two are in the mix for it. Go win it, go make it your own, and you'll see, and you both get your opportunities, and you'll see results there. It's great we're giving chances to the youngsters, but we need to compete with the other top 6, points. Absolutely, but the 4 players that have been mentioned, they're not going to take away from this squad. They're going to add to this squad, and that's the reason why we're there. Should we bring back Fosu Mensah? Fosu Mensah is different to Axel because he's not playing. Yeah, I'd probably think about bringing him back, because I still think we need a bit more energy in midfield, defensive level energy. Fred's not really defensive, and I think Axel could do. Fosu Mensah could do that. Righty then, should we go and see the fan cams? There's some pretty merry fans, should we say, this Christmas time over at Cardiff. Let's see what they had to say after the game.
You are my Solskjaer, my only Solskjaer. So you make me happy. My skies are grey, all the cheer was fucking dear. So please don't take my Solskjaer away. Is that a manager for the future?
No, he's manager 5 months. That's what I think. I think that we'll have a new manager in the summer. But we've got 5 months to look forward to. We've got a European Cup competition. We've got an FA Cup to look forward to as well. You know, we'll just enjoy the ride, right?
Ollie's just temporary, mate. You know what? I'm just really happy to have someone of his calibre in charge. He's not experienced enough really to be a manager all of Manchester United, but he's done his job today, and you know what? He's going to do his almighty best to get us as far as he can up the table. But to be honest with you, mate, I'm just really happy to see you attacking football.
Mourinho's gone. He wasn't good enough. It were all about Mourinho. This lad's come in, first game. Let's not get carried away.
Cardiff away, innit?
Cardiff away, let's go away. But would we have scored 5 if Mourinho were playing today?
Who knows? If he was playing,
Would
probably
we?
not.
No, we would not have scored 5 today if Mourinho were playing.
We said today, like, there'll be a performance. There'll be an attacking performance today because we've got, Jose's gone. They can, they let off the lead. And you look today, Martial, Rashford, see you later. Martial, Rashford. We've got speed up front. If we fucking attack with pace, teams like this, we can come and demolish them with five goals easy.
Who would you like in the summer to take over?
I'd like Maurizio Pochettino to take over. I would. With the director
Why
of football.
Why is that?
Because I just feel he's a modern manager. He gets on with modern players. I think the biggest criticism for me of Jose was that he was always clashing with players. And a modern player is very different.
Calling them out.
A modern player is very different now to an older player, And I think Maurizio Pochettino is the man.
We all know it's going to be Pochettino.
Yeah.
It's the only one it's going to be.
I'd be very happy with that.
And I'd be very happy with that.
Yeah. Alex, nice to see you, mate. What did you think of the game today?
Good. Yeah.
Go on, United.
Go on, United.
And I was a fan of Mourinho, well, at least before he started. But under him, if we were 3 goals up, we wouldn't come out in the second half. We'd sit back. We'd bring on a defensive midfielder straight away. We carried on attacking all through the game. We scored a 4th. We didn't stop, and we're not seeing that for about 5 years. So it's just unbelievable, really.
Solskjaer, the lift he's given to the teams is ridiculous because when Mourinho was here a couple of weeks ago, the players didn't look up for it. Liverpool away. I mean, and they come here and it's the same squad that he picks, and we've played almost 10 times better. And the attackers we've got, Solskjaer plays attacking football, and we're going to score goals.
There we go. That was the Fancams. Cheers, Jordan, for helping out and presenting for those this week. Mr. A in the comments here saying, remember when Howson said there was no such thing as a new manager bounce? No, there isn't such thing as a new manager bounce as a phenomena. It happens at some teams and it doesn't happen at other teams. It's not a guaranteed thing. That's what I talk about. You will get it some places. You won't get it other places. Statistically, it's flat. So, that's what I mean. When I talk about stuff, I don't say anything I can't back up, my friend. There's a bit of a good debate going on the Facebook chat. Some people saying that we need a new defence. Luke replying saying attack is the best form of defence. Also saying Diego Simeone. So I don't know how we can say attack's the best form of defence and then also think Diego Simeone is a shout. That's kind of at odds with each other. Pranav says, if Poch or Zidane doesn't come, who do you see as the manager? Here's what I honestly think about what's going on with the manager. I think that Woodward would love Zidane for the reasons that Woodward would love Zidane. I think that the rest of the board probably wants Pochettino. I think the Fergie going meeting Pochettino before we announced Mourinho's no coincidence. But do you know what I mean? I think Pochettino's managed to assemble a squad that's very, very, very good, but the fact that he hasn't won anything with that squad for me is an issue. That squad's good enough to have won something and hasn't. And it's not just that he's not won stuff. I don't like his attitude to winning stuff. He needs to change that. Otherwise, he's not going to do it at United. But I do think it will be Poch. Fosu Mensah has failed at Palace and now Fulham, so why are we gassing him up? It's almost like they're not very good teams, is it? He didn't fail at Palace as well. He lost his place to a player that's absolutely tearing it up. And do you know what? He's a player that we probably should be looking at in Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka is unreal. Norman saying there that Eddie Howe should be considered. I think he should be considered. If you was talking on what can he do purely football basis, then Eddie Howe has to be considered. But football management, especially Manchester United, is more than what can you deliver to this team. There's a massive amount of PR involved in it. United press conferences are pretty much the only ones that gets watched, unless they're asking a question about United. When was the last time you saw a Pochettino press conference? I've seen 2 this week because he was asked about United in them. And there was crazy results on the back of that. So there's a big PR part of being the United manager, as well as what you can do with the football stuff. Tom says, do you think Solskjaer will be bringing anyone in January, and who would it be? It sounded like there was going to be someone. Coming in January, and he said he'd have a little bit of input. Usman says Poch maximises his squad. Maybe he maximises his squad, but for me, most neutrals would argue when you go right the way throughout that Tottenham team, it's a great team. And it still failed to win anything. And football, at the end of the day, is about winning things. That's what we're all here for. Do I think we need a new director of football before bringing in a new manager? Yeah, someone sent me a video that we did in 2015 where I said We need a director of football. We've needed one for years and years and years. When Fergie went, he essentially was a director of football. He was a man with a vision for the football club, and he basically everybody else sort of managed the team, and he did everything. So we always needed a director of football, and that is a massive issue, and it's still been an issue. Just keep the current staff set up, says Morton. It's not going to happen. Any manager's going to go and want to work with the people that he trusts. Would everybody like to see Ole? I mean, would you like to see, let's say Ole Gunnar Solskjaer manages to get us into the top 3 and we have a decent run in either of the cups. Because I think asking us to win them's a bit of a lottery. But I think you can work on the league, you can win a big chunk of games, and I see Chelsea and Arsenal, both of them slipping. So I think there's going to be a gap. It's just, can we take advantage of that gap and get into the top 3? Now, again, no one's saying top 3 is an achievement, but for where Ole Gunnar came in and where we are right now, that is the goal. You can't honestly tell me, sit here and go, if you don't win the league this year, it's a failure, because we're miles off. I think we can get 89 points at most, and I think that's going to take more than that to win the league. So it's probably out of his hands already. And that's assuming he's able to win every single league game, and he won't. So I think the target has to be getting into that top 3. And if he does that for me, why would you look elsewhere? Because it's still a risk. Can Pochettino handle the pressure? He couldn't handle the pressure when Tottenham was favourites to win the league against Leicester. Could he handle the pressure of being at United? That's a big question mark for me. And Ollie knows it. Howson, would Peter Schmeichel be the perfect fit for director of football? No. What experience has he got? He was a top goalkeeper who then celebrated being a City goalkeeper for a bit. Tainted his reputation there a little bit with me. Ace Nog says, if Ollie gets us top 4 and deep in the Champions League, he should get the job. Can't believe anyone's saying no to Spurs can't win anything as a club. Of course they could. You go right the way through that team, and it's a very, very good team, and they still can't win it. How famous was Sir Alex before United? Well, considering he was the first man to break up the duopoly of Celtic and Rangers and win a European Cup against Real Madrid and Aberdeen, pretty fucking famous, to be honest, mate. Fred has to start ahead of Herrera. Really? Love a bit of Ander Herrera. He'd wear the captain's armband if I was dishing it out. Mariko says treble is still on the cards. Of course. Van der Sar, my choice. Evra for director of funds, as long as it's not to do with the chicken kiosk. Oli or Zidane, says Tony Marshall. Khan is saying, we got Ollie done. Need any other manager? We don't need any. I think maybe we don't need any other manager. Paul Mitchell for director of football, says Phil. Phil sits behind me in the Stretford end. How are you? Paul Mitchell sounds like it's something that's about to happen. Apparently he was in Manchester a couple of weeks ago. Make it out what you will, but he is also from Manchester, so I don't know. Could be anything, couldn't it? Righty, shall we go and see what everybody is saying in United on YouTube? Because some pretty excited people in it this week. Let's have a look.
Is it too early to get excited? Probably. Are we going to get excited? Definitely.
When we've got the ball in their half, guess what? They can't score unless they counter. Unless you make a stupid mistake, if you're attacking them in their half, they cannot score. It is that simple.
I just can't keep the smile off my face. Absolutely unbelievable. We were all over Cardiff, first minute to last. First time we scored 5 in the league since Fergie. Unbelievable feeling. Jesse Lingard was fantastic. The whole front three of Rashford and also Martial. Pogba was expressing himself again. It's clear to see that Mourinho was the problem. He was the virus. He was bringing the players down.
Well, what else is there to say about this game? It's just a great start to the Ole era. Great performance, some quick and crisp passing.
I think the moment that summed up the game for me was Martial's goal, because that one-touch play, oh my god, that was filthy stuff. Like, forget that it's only Cardiff. If you play like that, you can beat any team. You can carve open any team's defence.
2-1, you're a bit worried. I was a bit nervous. Here we go again. But United did what old United would do. They attacked its instinct, score another goal. Stop worrying about their strengths. They don't have any. If you utilise yours, go at them, attack them. That's what you do, and that's exactly what we did.
When you let the players play free, even Matic looked good today. He was passing the ball forward because he had options, because people were released from their shackles of defensive play, and it's absolutely fantastic to see.
I mean, it was just a great win and some fantastic goals, movement, everything just, it almost came, I believe it all came together today. it all came together in this match. I mean, I know people will say it's only Cardiff, but well, you can only be a good team if you beat the bad teams. So, happy with the win.
Ole, whatever you're doing, just keep doing that because you're the right man for this job. You're my manager.
Has everything been lifted? Yes, I believe it has. If we can keep going. Belief.
I am chuffed with that. We even saw Phil Jones in the mix getting in there. Bit of Matic with a flick at one point. You know, the player I've slagged off the most for a few months. So guys, it's not about the sort of the amount of goals we scored. It's just about the result, the right attitude, the expressing themselves, playing like United would.
I have a question for you guys though. Seeing as how Solskjaer is going to probably want to play the Ferguson way, is any of you worried about Lukaku? Because I just have a feeling that his characteristics and qualities do not exactly fit into the Ferguson type striker.
I'm so happy with that performance, and I'm sure you guys are as well. Make sure you stay subscribed to Full Time Devils. Come on, United.
So, I'm going to leave you on a sing-song, guys. Who put 5 in Cardiff's net? Who put 5 in Cardiff's net? Who put 5 in Cardiff's net? Ole Gunnar's Devils. Boom! Peace. Happy with that. P.S. Subscribe to Full Time Devils.
There you go. That was what everybody United on YouTube had to say. Stevie still seems a bit miserable to me. What's the matter, son? It's Christmas. Ollie's here. Do you need a cuddle? Come and have a cuddle. Jack looks happy, doesn't he? Size of that cheesy grin he's got on his face. Abu talks about movement, and he also talks a little bit about Lukaku not thinking that he's going to fit into this system. I disagree. I actually think that Lukaku played to his actual strengths and not the perceived strengths that he should have by being a unit. I think you get the best out of him, but I think that while you've got Marcus scoring, while you've got Tony scoring, while you've got Jesse Lingard scoring, and you've still got Mata in the wings, and you can utilise the likes of Mason Greenwood or Tahith Chong, let's keep Lukaku out of the limelight for now. Give him like a mid-season sort of pre-season. Get him back in shape, get him back sharp. Let Ole have a couple of weeks with him out of the limelight, getting him to play the way he used to play. And I think you see a Lukaku that comes and probably fires United into that top 3 back end of the season. Governor Bandicoot says we've got to keep this going, and Hughesy is absolutely going off on one. Couple of shouts in the comments for Hughesy to be director of football. I'm there for you. He gets my vote. We have got a game coming up, obviously. We're going to try and get the preview out for you guys today, so make sure to stick it around on Full Time Devils for that. We've also got we're aiming for 6 o'clock. We've also got another match day stream on Boxing Day. Let us know in the comments who you would like to see hosting that match day stream. And I tell you what, Old Trafford is going to be absolutely rocking, isn't it? Can't find a spare for love or money. It's going to be absolutely rocking. It was going to be rocking anyway, but after that performance that we saw, there's people going to be there at about 6 o'clock in the morning. Wait, let me in. I want to get in. I can't wait. I'm absolutely pumped to be going on Boxing Day. It's almost like we've got to get this nonsense out of the way tomorrow, innit? And then we can actually get to the real big event this Christmas time, which is Old Trafford on Boxing Day. Jeremy says, I feel Alexis has a really good time to shine. Let's hope so. FIFA Techers, he says, do you think it's disrespectful to Mourinho for the players to start turning up now? I think that's a really interesting question, and it's one that we don't know the answer to. Obviously, there was a lot of players unhappy with Mourinho. What Wayne Rooney said on BT was very interesting, is when he takes you out of the team and he stops talking to you, and players are coming up to him and even saying, like, can you go and have a word with the manager for us? He's like, not even talking to me. That's weird. And it sounds like, if anything, Ollie is, a man management-wise, the complete opposite of what Jose is. Ollie's all about inclusion, all about doing things the United way, tries to take himself out of the spotlight and put everybody else in it. Maybe he's the perfect fit for us. And who'd have thought this one coming? Let's just enjoy this Ole Gunnar Solskjaer ride as long as it's coming. People in the comments saying Merry Christmas to myself and the Full Time Devils team. What I will say is Merry Christmas to you lot, all the United family that are out there. If you're at the game on Boxing Day, please enjoy that. And before I sign off, I've just got to say to you, we got a WhatsApp group. And I messed this up myself. There's like 10,000 people in there, but a lot of you don't get any messages for it, because what you have to do is you actually have to save the Full Time Devils contact as a contact. So just save it as Full Time Devils, and then you'll actually start getting the messages. And if you're not part of that group, the link is in the description, so definitely go and check that out. Check out Quiff as well, because we've got some exclusive offers for you. Subscribe, hit the like button if you've enjoyed the first game of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's reign as Manchester United manager. Like the button if you're looking forward to Boxing Day, and I will see you in the aftermath. Thanks for watching. See you then.